am Jason Yarusi of Yarusi Holdings, a multifamily investment firm here in Tennessee, specifically targeting multifamily investment and multifamily development here in the Southeast, predominantly between Nashville, Atlanta, and Louisville. Since start, we've acquired over 2,000 units, predominantly in these three main markets that we focused on. And we focused on finding value-add opportunities where we can go in there and improve the operations of the property, whether it be on the management side or the property side itself. So today we're very excited to dive in with you. All right, so today we're going to talk about cost segregation. What is it and how do we utilize it on our apartment complex? So listed here under the IRS code, really cost segregation is the process of identifying personal property assets that are grouped with real property assets and separating out personal assets for tax reporting purposes. What this does here is that typically for depreciation, we have this two parts, one for residential and one for commercial. For residential, it's over the course of 27.5 years that we're able to make streamlined depreciation. Basically, each time we buy a real asset or buy say your house, you're going to get depreciation, meaning that it's going to wear down the value. Basically, it's going to wear down over the course of 27.5 years. But everybody who knows, who lives in a home, realizes and understands that, you know, your carpet is going to last for a different time than potentially your light fixtures, right? So what the IRS code allows us to do is be able to break this out into buckets, break this out into 5, 15, and 27.5 year categories here, where in fact these components can be pushed forward into the right bucket. What this allows is that, say you had $1 million of depreciation over the entire life of the asset, 27.5 years. Well, in fact, you can take that $1 million and maybe take 300,000 of it and push it forward into a 5-year category for those allocated components there that it pieces together. One of the great things about the United States is the only country in the world where we can go and really restart depreciation each time we buy an asset. So if I bought a property today and I go and do a depreciation study, and then 5 years later, I sell that property, that new buyer can go and do that same depreciation study to get back the depreciation benefits that's allocated here in the tax code. So that's one of the great things about depreciation. But what this does is it allows us to offset some of our gains with our exposure here to depreciation, really, where it accelerates losses for us. So what this allows here is that we can go do these cost segregation studies instead of having this streamlined depreciation happen year in, year out in the same capacity. We're able to take a lot of these losses up front. And this is great for real estate investors that have a lot of exposure out there. And some of our investors who come in here are looking to offset some of their tax liabilities that go from them being active big earners doing a lot of other things, or with some of their other investments where they're actually getting earnings as well. So we're able to do this with the cost segregation study. We have a lot of investors that want to partake because of this fact. Now, there was this opportunity to have 100% bonus depreciation that is ending this year, meaning that the elements or items that were able to be pushed forward into the 5 and 15-year categories were able to be moved forward all to year one. And in that year one, you were able to take 100% of that bonus depreciation. Well, now, in fact, over the next couple of years, it's going to retreat back from 100% in year one to 80%, 60%, 40%, all the way down to where you will be back to those 5 and 15-year categories. However, it's still huge, right? You still get to take a lot of bonus depreciation up front, and it helps us push forward and really keep down our tax exposure. That's one of the great things about real estate is you can utilize depreciation to your advantage. Now, we talk a lot about real estate. Some of the big things here to know is that you can win from cash flow. You can win from appreciation that you force forward. You can win from just market timing. You can win from paying down your debt, being paid by your tenants. And you can win from things like tax advantages, like depreciation studies that can help you and your investors offset your tax exposure. So that's some of the great reasons, some of the reasons that we do cost segregation studies on all of our projects, because it's a very important element here to be able to capitalize on all the great things that real estate provides. All right, so I'm Jason Yarusi of Yarusi Holdings. You like what you hear, go down there, hit us, give us that follow button, leave a note in the comments. Tell us what you like, tell us what we could have done better here. Talk to you shortly.